Welcome to Evilive, the live media commentary show that answers the question, do space witches fly on broomsticks? Subscribe to the channel because today we are reviewing the trailer, the official teaser trailer of Dune Prophecy. That's right. This is not the film. This is the series that is based off of the Denis Villeneuve's series, or two films, Dune Part 1 and Part 2. And this is a prequel going way back. Let me look at the exact notes here. So this is set 10,000 years before the events of Dune. The series follows sisters Valya and Tula Harkonnen as they combat forces that threaten the future of humanity and establish the fabled sect known as the Bene Gesserit. So the Bene Gesserit witches don't exist yet. They're establishing them in this. And this trailer, oh mama, let's watch it because there's some good stuff in here. Oh, I love this stuff. I love the Bene Gesserit witches so much. I don't know why. I just love the witches. They're hot.
10,000 years before the birth of Paul Atreides. Before the universe would know us as the Bene Gesserit.
Looks great.
We founded a sisterhood. Assigned to the great houses to help them sift truth from lies. We created a network of influence throughout the Imperium.
Cool.
But power comes with a price.
A sister on the throne. Nothing is more important. And this is the marriage that makes it possible. This is us playing God, and we will be judged for it. Valya Harkonnen.
Sisterhood above all.
Oh man, that looks great.
To help them
All right, hold on, let me pause it. Okay, so again, this is set 10,000 years before the actual Dune novel and films. This is actually, I think it's written like by his son or something. Like this sort of prequel information to what Frank Herbert wrote. Don't quote me on that because I'm new to this IP as well. I've read the first two novels and the films, and you know, I just don't know everything that everyone else does about it. But I will tell you this: I love me some Bene Gesserits, like genuinely. I think they're amazing. So as soon as I heard that this series was going to come out, once the first part 1 of Dune by Denis Villeneuve was released, then I'm on board. Like already I'm on board. And HBO's doing it. HBO's been killing it with their sort of fantasy period dramas like Game of Thrones and House of the Dragons, for example. And so I'm really stoked to see this come out. I really enjoyed Denis Villeneuve's version of Dune. It's not the same as the book. It's very close, but not the same. And so the more mystical aspects of the novel that I really appreciated that were almost wholly absent from the films, they have to be included here. Like that's what this is all about. The Bene Gesserits are the ones that shaped the whole prophecy that the whole Dune movie's about. So going back this far to before the Bene Gesserits were even founded, and then seeing them start this whole organization and then start the prophecy, oh, get me there. I am stoked to see this. Now, I have heard people complain about how it looks the same, meaning this is supposed to be 10,000 years before. Look at style differences between like 2 decades ago versus today, or 7 decades ago, or, you know, a century ago, or a millennia ago, and then multiply that by 10. There should be massive visual differences, except that they're already a spacefaring culture, this human species. And so I don't know how dramatically different you're going to be when you're mixing, because there's no like this. See, I don't know enough about the history to know if the jihad has happened in order to stop technology like AI or not yet. Because that's something that happened. And that's why it's all like biological machines and stuff like that, and like non-thinking machines, because there was a huge war, a holy war over it. in this universe. So I think that's happened already. Don't quote me on it because I'm not 100% sure. But if that's already happened, assuming it has, then of course it's all going to look kind of the same because it's all just going to be like stylistic differences from planet to planet and culture to culture, but the technology is the same. So why would it change? You know, culturally it'll change, but not so great. So I don't mind that it looks very, very similar. But like this, for example, massive gates that look like it could be like, it could be fucking like rope and hemp on these doors. That's not the same. So I do like that they sort of take a bit of a more primitive stance. And we have all the houses that we're familiar with, like Atreides and Harkonnen and stuff. This is like the death of someone. It looks like all females from here. So maybe this is like the first convening circle of the Bene Gesserits. Oh man, I can't wait for this. This is gonna be so cool. I mean, visually it looks so great. And then you have this individual coming up to one of the house rulers. And now look, part of what I loved about the Bene Gesserits in the Denis Villeneuve and even the earlier film adaptation was the visual appearance. They're striking. They look like space witches. This woman looks like a space witch, and I love that stuff. But if this is the very founding of the Bene Gesserits, this is where I do kind of have a weird stylistic complaint. Because if they haven't been around to establish their look in their cult, because the cult doesn't exist yet, why is she looking like that? Although I don't mind, maybe they stole their look from another house or another culture. That makes sense. That would be kind of cool. It'd be like in Star Wars, you go to the Dathomir witches. There's a bunch of different clans of Dathomir witches that all sort of look stylistically different, but they're all witches. So, maybe that's the same with this, is the Bene Gesserits are just sort of taking stylistic liberties from other cultures. Lips. You buckle up your lips like this. Little Mermaid reference. Oh, man. Do you think this is a sandworm? Sandworm, maybe? Because, I mean, it's not going to be to like the second or more season that they actually seed the prophecy, right? So I'm not sure we'll ever see Dune in the first season. Arguably, maybe not the second season. I don't know how many seasons are planned, but hopefully we stick around long enough to see them start planting those seeds. But visually, it's just beautiful. I mean, look at that. It's just so amazing the way they put this all together. And look at this, the clothing. God, HBO kills it. We need to really celebrate costume designers because they just do some amazing work in these different series. And right here. So this is one of the will-be witches, I believe, they're trying to put her in a position of authority and power of this house. So they're marrying her off to like the son or something of whichever house this is. I'm not sure. But I mean, if that's her, then she's clearly got part of that Bene Gesserit look with the whole face wrapping and stuff, which I love so much from the films of Dune and stuff like this. Just really cool ritualistic motions for this marriage. I like that stuff, man. It's culture that really keeps me coming back to different IPs and showcasing how different cultures engage in different behaviors and their stylistic looks are dramatically different. So this is one of the Bene Gesserit founders as well. I'm not sure if she's Valya or Tula. Sorry if I'm messing that up. But she looks like she's like going to be like the Reverend Mother in charge of everything once they set up the structure of the Bene Gesserits. I mean, this right here, you kind of get that Bene Gesserit vibe with the hat, which is kind of cool. She looks kind of our own history period, like Henry VIII era visual look with the hair. And I don't know, that's just my interpretation, which I don't necessarily mind. It's in space, so that makes it different. And here we get the shield generators, we get the regular fighting and stuff. And, the Bene Gesserits were taught how to fight. Like they had stylistic fighting. It's good when you see that HBO trademark. Yeah, Kaori. First of all, thanks for tuning in. And yes, 100%. I think this is going to be badass. HBO's been killing it for a long, long time. So I have full faith that they're going to do a good job with this. But yeah, I mean, one of the reasons in the novel that they wanted the Bene Gesserit, Paul Atreides' mom, to go there is because they saw her fight, and they wanted to learn her technique of fighting. I'm going off of memory. It's been a while since I've read the book, and so that wasn't showcased in the films at all. But in the book, it was, and so I like the idea that if this is the future wife of that house leader, then of course she has to be trained to fight because the Bene Gesserits have their own version of combat, which I love to see. And let's be honest, I'm a dude. I like sex scenes, and looks dope. I mean, super sexy, low light. You don't have to see full frontal anything. The suggestion is more exciting in most cases than anything else. And to see witches being witches like this scene, holy shit. Oh, I love witches dancing around a fire, man. So goddamn cool. And I don't even know if this is the Bene Gesserits. This could just be like another cultural experience, amongst another house or a sort of a counterculture movement. But whatever it is, I'm here for it. I dig this stuff a lot. And here's something I want to point out. They're showing elements. Water, so that's the Atreides world. Fire, I don't know if there's like a world associated with fire, but they're showing elements which ties in, I believe, to the sort of mystical element of the Bene Gesserit. What's the other one? So this looks like sand or wind or dust or something. So it's dust, fire, water, and air? Earth, air, fire, and water. So the 4 elements. So I like that they sort of slipped that in, because when you're talking about witches, you're talking typically, modern day parlance is, the sort of the pagan witches, Wiccans and stuff. They do celebrate the elements, the natural elements of the worlds. So I like that they tie that in. It doesn't really matter that much, but it's a stylistic choice. I'm kind of stoked for it. And I like the way they do the title card here. The Dune title. It's different than Denis Villeneuve's, but it's the same. Like, it feels connected to it. And again, we are disconnected by 10,000 years. So I'm excited, man. Knowing HBO knows those sex scenes are going to be, yeah. I'll tell you what, though. HBO sex scenes are dope. HBO's A Game of Thrones sex scenes, I have a hard time hearing like someone getting sucked off. And that's in Game of Thrones, like the first handful of seasons. It feels like it's in every single episode, just like the lip smack and the mouth smack sounds. I can't take it. That shit bugs me. I don't like hearing it at all. So, as long as we don't have that, I'll be okay. Oh, this is a good one, man. I'm so stoked for this. So stoked. Yeah, and she's got to be the Reverend Mother of the Bene Gesserits. She has to be. Oh, man, I'm so excited for this fall. We've got so many good shows coming out. Oh, man, I'm so stoked. So let me know what you guys think. Are these elements spelling out Dune? The earth, fire, water, air? Is that tied in to the Bene Gesserit's creation? Or is that just a stylistic choice that they're making? Are you excited to see the foundation of the Bene Gesserits and sort of revisit the different houses of Dune 10,000 years before we realize who and what they are? Because we're presented with the idea that the Harkonnens are evil and the Atreides are good. But the reality is that Paul Atreides is part Harkonnen, just like his mother Jessica. So we can't have that sort of black and white view when we're looking at Dune franchise. We have to look at it as it's all situational. It's all based on perspective and ambition. And it's very, how George R.R. Martin writes. It just depends on which side you happen to like and whether or not you think they're the right ones or the wrong ones. That's what I love about House of the Dragon, too. I'm going to be doing a reaction to that here shortly. So, yeah, let me know what you guys think about this. And look, if you're critical about it, I understand. I dig it. I would be critical, too, if I was like super steeped in the novels that this is based around that his son had written. But I have full faith in HBO Max. I always have. Ever since I first started watching their stuff with like 6 Feet Under and Sopranos, I've never been disappointed. There's stuff that's not for me, but they kill it with this fantasy stuff, whether it's sci-fi fantasy or whether it's sort of alternate universe, sort of medieval fantasy stuff. They just kill it. It's the writers that end up fucking it up. So let me know in the comments what you guys think. I'm here for it, man. Let's go. Let's fucking go. All right. Thank you all so much for watching this reaction to Dune Prophecy. Yeah, as always, remember that evil spelled backwards is live. So get out there, sniff some spice, and be evil.